oxygen outages have resulted in deaths. What's the solution to enhance the medical infrastructure in terms of beds, in terms of oxygen supplies, Dr. Shetty?
Rajdeep, first of all, everyone criticizes the government. It's very easy to criticize. I'll tell you, the number of COVID patients what we have currently, no government in the world can manage. You leave alone American government, you put American government, British government and all the European countries, they will not be able to manage the number of patients what we are saddled with, okay? And I have done a lot of my homework to assess what went wrong with oxygen. Believe me, government has done a phenomenal job. They have moved heaven and earth to give oxygen to people. But the difficulty is from 900 tons of oxygen, if it goes to 9,000 tons in few days, there is no logistical system available to shift that much of oxygen. We may say that, okay, all the steel factories produce abundant oxygen, but only 3% of that oxygen can be transported. They are in the liquid form. And there are less than 1,500 tankers which can shift. And these tankers cannot move more than 30 miles per hour. And most of the oxygen producing steel plants are in the Western India and Eastern India. And most of the COVID patients are in Northern India. These tankers have to move 1,500 kilometers. It is a Herculean task. I know they have used every possible means to give oxygen, but still people are dying. I know, I feel sad that we couldn't save precious life because of the oxygen, but that is the nature of the disease. And we have to realize that health sector was ignored since independence. Every government, irrespective of the color, they never bothered about investing on creating infrastructure for healthcare. And this is what we are paying now.
And you mentioned that you're worried that children in particular could be affected by the third wave, and therefore you need extra precautions. Could you elaborate, Dr. Shetty?
Rajdeep, before I get into the third wave, let me explain to you how easy it is to solve the COVID pandemic from the Indian context. It is not difficult. There are only three problems, Rajdeep. One is vaccination. Vaccination by far is the best and the cheapest solution for COVID-19. It has been proven beyond doubt that vaccination works. We have at any given time more than 500 patients in our single hospital with COVID. Our intensivists keep saying that they have never seen a single patient in the COVID ICU who had 2 shots of vaccine. It didn't matter what vaccine it is. So we need to vaccinate everyone above the age of 18, what is allowed. We do that. Now I'll explain to you how it can be done. Next problem, there are not sufficient number of doctors and nurses to give the kind of a care a COVID patient deserves. If we can give that kind of a care, mortality, morbidity will come down significantly. And the third thing, beds. We have enough beds, but we don't have, as I said earlier, beds do not treat patients. We need doctors and nurses. If we can address these 3 things in the next 2 to 3 months, what third wave? We can manage any wave. All it needs is 3 things, and I can explain to you in detail how we can address the vaccination problem, doctors and nurses, and the bed situation.
But you're talking about ramping up production, giving licensing presumably to other manufacturers, using our entire capacity to vaccinate. Are you saying that is the only solution in a way to prepare ourselves for this so-called third wave? Vaccinate aggressively is the only solution according to you, Dr. Shetty, at the moment?
Rajdeep, that is the only solution. There is no other solution, and that is the cheapest solution, and that is the best solution to save millions and millions of precious lives.